Nothing quite like being woken up to the quiet sound of a gentle thunderstorm. I had been planning on going running this morning, but the place I wanted to run to was kind of far, so I might save it. This place is actually really cool. I've been sitting out here journaling, and I keep seeing people walking. Right here. I don't know what's there. I can kind of see, I don't know. I guess it must be the next property or building, but it just feels so private. And you can see there's a house or a building here, and then another one here, and some over there, but this is like some sort of like river. I guess everyone builds their houses on the ravine, and you can kind of see through the foliage these like tall concrete walls that the houses are built on top of. I've just lived in California for too long. I don't know, for me that feels like it would be really difficult to build. I'm used to having to worry about earthquakes. So cool. It feels like I'm in a little forest. It feels really private, even though there are a lot of other buildings around. I like that. Out and about, finally. I am doing the Campuhan River Walk, which is like an iconic sunrise spot. It's not sunrise, but I'm doing it anyways. I walked this way yesterday, but I didn't have water with me and it was so hot, so here we are. I've been thinking a lot about my 2024 word of the year. Every year I pick a word, and I say I pick a word. I feel like the Holy Spirit gives me a word, and it kind of defines the direction that I'm growing in for the year. So this year's word, I feel like I've definitely grown in that direction, although did not look like I thought it was going to. So on my flight over to Bali, I was thinking a lot about using this time here to really search for what my word of 2024. I thought a lot about using this time to search for what my word of 2024 is going to be. And honestly, I think I have it already. Long walks like this are always when I do thinking like that. I just think and pray, walking with Jesus. I think it's a really powerful thing to set the direction you want to grow in. I think it's important to decide how you're going to grow so that you're consciously thinking about it. I think it's hard to get on the right path if you don't know what path you want to take. And setting a word of intentionality really helps bring clarity. Intentionality is a strong force to be reckoned with, because if you set yourself intentionally on a path, that means when things get hard, when things are distracting, you can put yourself back where you want to be going. And if you don't set something intentionally, maybe it'll happen randomly, but you're not going to get as much done in that direction. It's beautiful. Halfway there. So my word for this year, I thought I knew what it meant, and I thought, because the Holy Spirit gave me that word for this year, that there were certain things that were going to happen. And I mean, maybe they'll still happen. It's only November. There's over a month left of the year, but it's just looked totally different than I thought. It's looked completely different than I thought it was going to look, which is not a bad thing. Different is not bad. So I feel like when you pick a word of the year, whether you pick it or it's given to you in your spirit, you need to have an open mind in how you approach it. You have to keep an open mind, because there's no way to guarantee that something's going to happen. Even if you pick the word wealth, there's no guarantee that you're going to get wealthy, just because that's your word and your focus. And I feel like there's so many different definitions of words that you can't pick a word and expect one thing out of it. It's so many things, and it's so amazing picking a word and watching all areas of my life change in that direction, because it's not just one, it's a life word. I got sunburned yesterday. I put on a lot of sunblock today, but I'm regretting not covering my shoulders. I really need to go shopping for Bali clothes. I'm coming from Thailand. They're similar, but it's not the same. Like, technically it's warmer here, temperature-wise, than in Thailand, but it felt so much warmer in Thailand because of the humidity. Like, I thought Bali was going to be humid, but it's nowhere near as humid as what Thailand was, which is nice because now everything feels cool to me, even though it's not. This walk is paved the whole way down, which is nice because then you know you're on the right trail. It's known as a pretty easy walk. It says it's 2 kilometers long, but I don't know if that's there and back or if that's just one way. Either way, a nice little workout. I feel like this would be fun to like go running on in the morning. All of the bugs. In Thailand, there were more bugs flying through the air, whereas here I feel like there are more bugs crawling. Like, there's just no way to get rid of or escape the bugs. But, you know, they're different bugs than in Thailand, most of them. And they don't feel as bad here because they're not like flying after me. I've seen some mosquitoes here. It's just not the same level as Thailand wet season. So when you pick a word of the year, it's about setting direction for your personal growth, and I think that's a really powerful thing. So maybe you've picked words before, maybe you haven't, but it's almost the end of the year, and oftentimes it's a good thing to search for instead of just deciding on. I didn't realize there was a whole village up here. Hiking to a village, but it said 1 more kilo, so we'll see. Hilltop Cafe. So cute. So when you go to pick a word of the year, if you're Christian, you can pray about it. And honestly, it's surprising that the Holy Spirit will give you a word. If you tell God you want to grow and ask Him what direction you should grow in, He'll let you know. You can also look at your life and say, what do you want the theme of next year to be? And not the theme of stuff you get or experiences you go on or like what you want, but think about it in terms of what direction do you want to grow in? How do you want to grow? Because if you decide that, you can set that. That's not something that just happens. You can decide how you want to grow and then go that direction. And let me tell you, it really is better when you understand what's going on in your life. If you set that intention, that word will start to crop up in your life, even if it's not on the forefront of your mind. You have the power to decide what direction you grow in. I just looked at my map and I'm way past the end, so I'm turning around. I guess this walk was so hyped up that I expected more. This is not a hard walk, but it was very enjoyable and I got to see some great countryside, so no complaints. Well, that was a good hike, and now I'm going to head over to the palace in the center of town. Signed off, and now I'm covered in oil. I did a face mask. I did some looking on the palace because, I mean, it looked cool, but it's not like European palaces and even other Asian palaces I've been to. And Wikipedia is a little vague, but I guess it was built to represent someone's power and apparently was the location of the ruling family for the city for a while, but maybe there were parts of it that just aren't open to the public. Anyways, thanks for joining me on day 3. I will see you tomorrow.